people on the earth recognize you seeing a man with a sombrero on his head between two donkeys crouching down. That affects only one people, the so-called Mexicans. This was written before we even had the so-called Mexicans word. That title, Mexican, that whole word wouldn't even hear. They were Issachar doing this. It wasn't even in existence. Okay? The burdens on the donkey represent for Issachar low wages and hard work. Low wages and hard work, crouching down. Come on, prophets.
And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
And became a servant unto tribute. Now, we're going to look at the verse 15 real good. Prophets, read that again.
And he saw that rest was good.
Okay. And he saw that rest was good. What nation of people at a certain time of day have a moment of rest?
It's a siesta, and it's them. It's Issachar. Or so-called Mexicans, they have a siesta at 2 o'clock.
They have a siesta at 2 o'clock. Okay? They rest.
In the afternoon, yeah.
In the coolness of the day, they rest, right? Now, Mexico, the land of Mexico, isn't it a retreat, a vacation spot?
Right.
It's beautiful there, isn't it? Read that again, prophets.
And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant.
His land is pleasant. People from all over the world want to go to Mexico. Come on.
And bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
And bowed his shoulder to bear. They are the most humblest people. They will work for pennies. Have 9 times out of 10, a lot of them don't even get insurances, life insurance, health insurance. All right, they would do the jobs that no one would, not Judah won't even do. So this is a prophecy fitting a certain amount of people. But before we go into the meat of the lesson, the forefather Issachar, we're going to pull out some information on the internet for Issachar. Okay, how it's relating to them and how the characteristics fit them. Okay, now a lot of you brothers didn't notice that the Issachar knew about the black man slavery in America. Why? Because they were in slavery together. Many points in times. They fought together. Okay? We're going to bring that out. We're going to put up an article. Prophets, what's that first article you got there?
Africa's Lost Tribe in Mexico?
Africa's Lost Tribe in Mexico. Now, before she gets to reading, I want her to describe the picture that she sees on there.
It's a pyramid.
The picture that she's describing is a pyramid. Brothers and sisters, have you ever heard of recessed memories? When things would come back to memory after you thought they were forgotten? What is a pyramid doing over in the States? What is a pyramid doing over in the new land other than Egypt? That's a relapsed memory that this tribe had from coming out of Egypt. They built pyramids. Matter of fact, the so-called Mexicans were neighbors with their brother Zebulon. Zebulon is the so-called Mayans. The Issachar at one time were known as the Aztecs.
Where is this?
We're going to bring that out. We got that for you.
You said in the States.
What we say?
You said in the States. Where is
this?
The
United States.
This
America.
is in the United States?
That's in America.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Prophets, read there.
The existence of Afro-Mexicans was officially affirmed in the 1990s.
Now, y'all catch that word that she said? What the existence of what, prophet?
Afro-Mexicans.
Afro-Mexicans. Yes, they are dark-skinned Mexicans. Come on.
So-called Mexicans.
So-called Mexicans.
The existence of Afro-Mexicans was officially affirmed in the 1990s when the Mexican government acknowledged Africa as Mexico's third root. But Mexico's real history shows the African presence in the country going back thousands of years. Despite the official recognition of the contribution of Africa and Afro-Mexicans to Mexican society throughout the ages, the plight of African descendant people in Mexico is still desperate is still desperate, reports Miriam Ximenez Roman. Additionally, reporting by Tom Mawaki. Last year, a bilingual, and when was this written? Let me see. They have a date on it. Yeah, this is from 2012.
2012?
October 2012.
Okay.
Last year, a bilingual exhibition, The African Presence in Mexico, Yanga to the Present, was mounted by the Oakland Museum and the DuSable Museum on both sides of the Mexican border, in the U.S. and Mexico itself. It traced how Africans, fewer than 2% of colonial Mexico's, between the dates of 1521 and 1810, population significantly enriched Mexican culture through their art, music, language, cuisine, and dance.
You see there? So there's a major influence from Afro-Mexicans influencing their what, Prophet?
Influencing their culture, the arts, the music, the language, cuisine, and dance.
Wow. Even their food and dance. Okay.
The African presence in Mexico invited Mexican Americans and African Americans to look at their identities in light of their shared histories in Mexico and the United States. The Spanish first brought Africans to Mexico in 1519 to work in the agrarian and silver industries.
Okay, so we know Mexico, the Mexicans were conquered by who? The Spanish. Right? That's why you have Mexican people now that's of fair skin than of old time. Okay? They were conquered by the Spanish. All right? And the Spanish brought dark-skinned so-called Africans, which were not, over into Mexico. The people that they brought over that came off the slave ships, that's the line of Shem. They're Judites. They're from the tribe of Judah and Benjamin. Come on, Prophet.
There were constant slave protests and runaways. Oh, wait a minute. So the Spanish first brought Africans to Mexico in 1519 to work in the agrarian and silver industries under often brutal conditions. There were constant slave protests and runaways who established settlements in the mountains of Orizaba. In January 1609, Gaspar Yanga, a runaway slave elder, led the runaways to a successful resistance against a special army sent by the Spanish crown to crush their uprising. After several Cimarron victories, the Spanish acquiesced to the slaves' demand for land and freedom.
For land and freedom, right? Whose land? Mexico. Come on.
For land and freedom. Yanga found the first free African township in the Americas, San Lorenzo de los Negros, near Veracruz. It was renamed in his honor in the 1930s. Slavery in Mexico was abolished in 1810 by Jose Maria Morelos y Pavon, leader of the Mexican War of Independence, as a mulatto, which is a Spanish and African mix, which they call mulattoes. Morelos was directly affected by Mexico's prejudices. Racial mixes were seen as undesirable by a society that aspired to purity of race and blood.
Now, read that again, okay? Read that again. Racial what? Racial mixes?
Racial mixes were seen as undesirable.
Undesirable. But guess who wanted to mix their seed with Mexicans? Issachar. Spanish.
That's what they did. Spanish and African. Spanish and Mexican as well. They say Spanish and African, but we know it's Spanish and Mexican as well. They always want to mix their blood. In 1992, as part of the 500th anniversary of the arrival of the Spanish in the Americas, the Mexican government officially acknowledged that African culture in the country represented La Tercera Raíz, the third root of Mexican culture, with the Spanish and indigenous peoples. But the plight of Afro-Mexicans has not improved much since the recognition of 1992.
Prophets, hold it there. I want to go back to that landmark, that dedication. The title on the appreciation or the freed land, it didn't say African freed land. It said Negro, right?
Yeah, Negro.
That's a byword. That's what the scriptures say. We're going to be called a byword.
It says Yanga founded the first free African township in the Americas, San Lorenzo de los Negros.
San Lorenzo de los Negros.
Lorenzo de los Negros, near Veracruz.
Wow. It's right there. Come on, Prophet.
All right. As Alexis Okawawa, a black journalist in the Mexican capital, Mexico City, attests, when she visited Yanga, her heart broke. As I arrived in town, she reported, I peered out of my taxi window at the pastel-painted storefronts and the brown-skinned residents walking along the wide streets. Where are the black Mexicans, I wonder?
Now, brothers and sisters, this is what she's witnessing. This lie of the darker you are, the more hatred you are. They have put that in the mind of the so-called is Mexicans, Issachar. So the Issachars today that's light-skinned or fair-skinned, they may think they're above the darker skin. That's have always been the lie, right? That's always been the lie. So they're brainwashed even today. They got to wake up. Mexico, Issachar, wake up. Okay, we're brothers and we're brothers, all right? Brothers and sisters here. Prophet, read that again. Read that again about the fair skin.
I wondered, where are the black Mexicans?
Where are the black Mexicans?
Oh, so you want to read about where she looking at the taxi? She said, I peered out of my taxi window at the pastel-painted storefronts and the brown-skinned residents walking along the wide streets. Where are the black Mexicans, I wondered. A central sign proclaimed Yanga's role as the first Mexican town to be free from slavery. Yet the descendants of these former slaves were nowhere to be found. I would later learn that most lived in dilapidated settlements outside of town.
In the ghettos?
The next morning, when she went searching for the Afro-Mexicans, Okawawa found that though she had grown used to the rarity of black people in Mexico City, it was different at Yanga, where she was not only stared at, but also pointed at. The stares were cold and unfriendly, and especially unnerving in a town named for an African revolutionary, Okawawa recalled. Myra una negra. I heard people whisper to one another, look, a black woman. Negra, negra, taunted an old man with a shock of white hair under a tan sombrero. Surrounded by a group of men, the old man gazed at me with a big, toothy grin. He seemed to be waiting for me to come over and talk to him. Shocked, I shot him a dirty look and headed into a library's courtyard. Okawawa continued, the notion of race in Mexico is frustratingly complex. This is a country where many are proud to claim African blood, yet discriminate against their darker countrymen.
Same thing here in the States, United States. So same thing. Ephraim has that issue.
Black Mexicans complain that such bigotry makes it especially hard for them to find work. Still, I was surprised to feel like such an alien intruder in a town where I hoped to feel something like familiarity. Afro-Mexicans are among the poorest in the nation. Many are shunted to remote shanty towns well out of reach of basic public services such as schools and hospitals.
All right, hold it right there, Paul. I'll let you finish up. Brothers and sisters, they will have you believe that in Mexico there are no dark-skinned Mexicans. They will have you believe that. I implore you, pull up Google, type in Afro-Mexicans, and see that you're going to see black Mexicans there, okay? They've always been here. We've been involved with the conception of Mexico since they was here. Since we came over here off the boats, okay? So,
and they're not all dark skinned. The skin really is not the issue when we talk about Issachar. Issachar was also infiltrated just like the Negro race